There is only one reality, and that reality is consciousness. All that appears to be outside of you is but the shadow cast by what you are inwardly consenting to be. The world is not happening to you, it is happening from you. This is not poetry, nor is it philosophy in the abstract. It is law. It is as precise and reliable as the rising of the sun, yet far more intimate, for it is the very light by which the sun is known. You have been taught to believe that you move through a solid world of facts, that circumstances stand apart from you, that events arise independent of your inner life. Yet if you observe carefully, you will discover that every experience corresponds perfectly to what you have accepted as true within yourself. Not what you wished were true, not what you hoped might be true, but what you quietly, persistently assume to be true. You do not get what you want, you get what you are. This is why desire itself is sacred. Desire is not a sign of lack. It is the announcement of a state already prepared, already complete, already waiting to be occupied. Creation is finished. Every version of you exists now as a living state within infinite consciousness. The successful one, the loved one, the free one, the abundant one, these are not distant futures struggling to be born. They are present realities awaiting your recognition. When you say, "I want to be," you are confessing that you are not. And so long as you remain in the state of wanting, the world must continue to mirror want. The mirror cannot do otherwise. It has no initiative of its own. It can only reflect. To live in the fulfilled desire is to cease wanting and to begin being. This is the great secret that has been hidden in Scripture under the symbol of death and resurrection. The old man must die, not physically, but psychologically. The former identity, the one who lacks, who strives, who fears, who doubts, must be relinquished. You cannot serve two states. You cannot cling to the story of who you have been while attempting to enter the story of who you desire to be. One must be released. When Scripture speaks of putting off the old man and putting on the new, it is not speaking of moral reform. It is speaking of identity. It is speaking of state. The old man is nothing more than a bundle of assumptions you have consented to. The new man is another bundle of assumptions, equally available, equally real, but requiring your occupancy. You are not asked to change the world. You are asked to change your state. The state is your inner position, your felt sense of self, your silent knowing of "I am this." It is not effort. It is not struggle. It is not the manipulation of appearances. It is the quiet conviction of being. If you desire wealth, you do not attempt to force money into your experience. You do not wrestle with circumstance. You enter the state of the one who is already secure. You assume the feeling of financial ease. You think from abundance rather than of it. You allow your inner speech to conform to the fulfilled condition. And though the outer world may momentarily echo the former state, you do not waver, for you know the mirror must adjust. Assumption hardens into fact. This hardening is not mechanical. It is organic. It is the natural unfolding of the seed you have planted in consciousness. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are planting a seed in the only soil that exists. The world is the harvest. But you must understand, the seed is not your words. It is not your forced affirmations. It is your inner acceptance. It is the degree to which you have surrendered to the reality of being what you desire to be. To live in the fulfilled desire is to walk through your days as the one who already is. It does not require outer display. It does not require proclamation. It is inward. It is subtle. It is a shift so gentle that others may not notice at first. But you will notice, because the struggle will begin to dissolve, the anxiety will lessen, the questioning will fade, there will be a stillness, a knowing. This knowing is faith, not faith in something external, but faith in the unseen reality of your own imagination. Imagination is not fantasy. It is not idle daydreaming. It is the creative power of God within you. When you imagine from the end, you are not pretending. You are selecting. You are selecting a state that already exists. There is no future being created. There is only movement between states. When you say, one day I will be, you are postponing occupancy. But when you say, I am, and you allow yourself to feel the naturalness of that statement, you enter. Naturalness is the key. The fulfilled desire must feel normal, not ecstatic, not dramatic, not strained. The wealthy man does not feel wealthy every moment. He simply feels secure. The loved woman does not feel loved as an emotional peak every hour. She simply feels chosen. The healthy man does not feel health as an excitement. He feels at ease in his body. So when you enter the state, you do not attempt to sustain emotional intensity. You assume the quiet normality of the fulfilled condition. You let it be simple. The world will test you, not because it has power, but because it reflects your lingering attachments. If you still identify with the old man, the mirror will show him. And when it does, you are given the opportunity to choose again. You do not fight appearances. You do not argue with facts. You return inwardly to your chosen state. This is living in the end. To live in the fulfilled desire is to refuse to be hypnotized by evidence. Evidence is always delayed. It is always yesterday's state made visible. If you react to it as final, you re-enter the former state and perpetuate it. But if you remain faithful to your inner assumption, the evidence must conform. There is no power in the world greater than the power of sustained identity. Who are you being when no one is watching? What do you say to yourself in the silence? What do you expect as you move through ordinary moments? These are not trivial details. They are the architecture of your world. When you awaken to this, you realize that responsibility is not burden but freedom. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are not bound by history. The past has no reality unless you occupy it. Memory itself is a state. If you continually revisit it with emotional charge, you keep it alive. But if you withdraw your attention and enter a new conception of self, the past loses its vitality. You are not changing events, you are changing identity. And identity is destiny. If you see yourself as rejected, the world must reflect rejection. If you see yourself as valued, the world must reflect value. It cannot do otherwise. It has no choice. The outer is the obedient servant of the inner. To live in the fulfilled desire is to accept that you are already the one you seek to be. The search ends, the becoming ends, the striving ends. You are not moving toward fulfillment, you are moving from it. This shift from toward to from is the difference between longing and embodiment. When you pray, you do not beg, you assume. You close your eyes, withdraw your senses from the evidence of lack, and you enter a scene that implies fulfillment. You allow yourself to feel it as real, not as future, not as possibility, as fact, and you remain there until it feels natural. Then you rise and carry that naturalness into your day. You do not check for signs. You do not demand proof. You know that the seed is planted. You trust the law because you understand it. Just as you do not dig up a planted seed to see if it is growing, you do not disturb your assumption with doubt. Doubt is simply a return to the old state. If doubt arises, do not condemn yourself. Simply recognize it as the echo of former identification. Gently return to the new state. Persist, not with force, but with steadiness. There is a still authority in the one who knows who he is. You are that authority. The Christ spoken of in Scripture is not a man outside you. It is your own wonderful human imagination. When it is crucified by belief in limitation, you experience suffering. When it is resurrected through assumption, you experience transformation. Resurrection is the act of rising into a new state. You do not earn it. You do not deserve it. You assume it. All things are possible because all states exist. You are not creating from nothing. You are selecting from infinity. And the selection is made by identity. Ask yourself, who would I be if this desire were already fulfilled? How would I think? How would I move? How would I interpret events? Then become that inwardly, not partially, not occasionally, fully. Let the former story fall away. Do not rehearse it. Do not defend it. Do not explain it. Simply release it. You cannot enter the new house while clinging to the doorway of the old. There will come a moment when the new state feels more real than the former one. It will feel inevitable. When that happens, the outer shift is not far behind. But even then, do not become dependent on appearances. Remember that the source is within. To live in the fulfilled desire is to live in quiet certainty. It is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is alignment. It is harmony between your inner assumption and your outer expectation. It is peace. The world is a mirror polished by consciousness. Each day it shows you who you have been. If you wish to see something new, become someone new inwardly. You are not changing the mirror, you are changing the face before it. And so I tell you, stop seeking to change conditions. Change your concept of self. Stop asking when it will happen. Ask who you are being now. Stop measuring progress. Occupy the state. When you do this, life rearranges itself with a precision that seems miraculous. Doors open, conversations shift, opportunities appear. But these are not miracles in the supernatural sense. They are the natural outpicturing of a new state. There is no randomness in a world governed by consciousness. If you persist in the fulfilled desire, if you remain faithful to your inner assumption despite appearances, the world must yield. It has no voice of its own. It speaks only what you have silently declared. And what you declare is determined by what you believe yourself to be. So dare to believe that you already are. Dare to feel the relief of fulfillment now. Dare to release the old narrative. Dare to stand inwardly as the one who has. For when you do, you will discover that the kingdom of heaven was never distant. It was within you all along, awaiting recognition. Live there. Remain there. And watch as the shadow world rearranges itself to reflect the light you have accepted as your own.